I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
He is at once bombastic, boorish, bold, and bellicose. Take your pick. He is also the inevitable storm in the Republican march to the White House and will no doubt give stand-up comics enough material to last until his namesake hotel crumbles into the Manhattan dusk. The race for POTUS is now the Donald's world, and we will live in it whether we like it or not. News Call Tuesday begins right there with the journalism adjunct from Seton Hall University, Dorian Davis, and the author of Romantic Violence, Memoirs of an American Skinhead, and co-founder of Life After Hate, Christian Picciolini. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. And Dorian, I'm going to begin with you. Donald Trump says he cannot be bought. He has more money than anybody, and he will be the guy to fix America. Just wait a minute. Before we start just shoveling it off here, maybe he is what America deserves.
Well, you know, Ed, I joked on Twitter this morning that this was both the best and worst presidential announcement ever because of its candor. You know, nobody who starts his campaign off by saying the American dream is dead is ever going to win. So I don't think we're in for the first orange president. And he will soak up a lot of oxygen that the other candidates need. But, you know, Ed, there's something refreshing about someone who doesn't speak in platitudes.
There you go.
And who actually speaks his mind.
There you go. I mean, I think that's, and I'll be very honest with you, Christian, whether you're going to vote for the guy or not, he's entertaining, he's got some glamour, he brings a little Hollywood with him at this point. Maybe, I don't believe I'm saying this out loud, maybe it is exactly what the Republican Party needs just to shake things up a little bit.
It's exactly what we need, Ed. A reality show in the White House. Let's do it. I'm going to actually throw my hat into the ring and be the 13th nomination for...
Come on, don't worry about it. I'm sure we can use him. But let's be very honest here. His business, yes, okay, he's had some problems, but when you think about it, maybe, Christian, maybe, he's just got enough bombasticness behind him to push the other Republicans to tell people what they will really do and give people a real idea instead of just platitudes. What do you think?
I don't think a real politician will ever speak his mind and exactly what's on his mind. And, you know, Donald Trump is a professional clown. He's entertaining. He's a billionaire. He doesn't represent the American people, and I think he'd be a terrible choice. And I don't think anybody's taking this seriously. I don't think the Republicans are taking this seriously, and certainly the Democrats aren't taking it seriously. If anything, the Democrats are hoping that he comes into the forefront and starts to stir things up because he certainly can't win.
Dorian, I'm going to take my tongue out of my cheek right now and go ahead and get to the next level on this with the Donald. And let's face it, I think Christian brings up a very interesting point here. The left may say, sure, bring him on. You talked about sucking oxygen out of the room. Bring him on, because it's a sideshow that Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and the others can use.
That's not untrue, Ed, and there are some negatives to this run. You know, he will deny someone a spot at that Fox News debate. He will help Democrats, I think, paint Republicans as birther extremists. But on the other hand, he is going to force, like you said, the other contenders to talk about issues they might not have wanted to talk about, and they're going to become better debaters. And Hillary Clinton, meanwhile, is on her way to a coronation, and she's not going to have that same trial by fire. So it might help the other candidates.
It is just, let's face it, I say it every time we talk politics, it's going to be fun heading towards 2016. Welcome in, Donald. It is going to be entertaining. Christian, next thing that comes up to you. Rachel Dolezal, she is the woman from the Spokane NAACP, the president of the organization. She had her first chance to speak out today on the Today Show, where she said she identifies as black. She is still not answering a lot of questions. She still comes out and speaks in very vague words. Many times she answers questions. All right, so, but the basic question is she really doing any harm, or is this just another wonderful clown car for the media to follow?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the unpopular opinion here and just say, who cares? You know, if she identifies as black, more power to her. I mean, we saw Caitlyn Jenner come out and as transgender, and you know, more power to the people who have the courage to actually express who they are and what they want to be. Now,
but wait a minute, Christian, that's not who she is, though. But there's this whole identify as black. She has no African American in her whatsoever. She has told people before that she's black. She's lied about her parentage. She's lied about her children. She actually sued Howard University because she claims that she was white. So we have a real liar working here that America seems to be fascinated with.
And that's exactly it, Ed. as Americans and as a society, we love throwing people under the bus. We love the train wreck, and we love to watch. And, this is just another example of somebody who, has gone through a period in her life living a certain way and believing she's a certain thing. And, let her do what she's got to do. More power to her. Now, when it comes to the lying and when it comes to, falsifying applications and things like that, of course, she lied. She should be held accountable for that. But if this woman wants to identify, as black, more power to her. Let her do it.
All right, Dorian, your take on this.
Well, I'm with Christian 100% on this. I think Rachel Dolezal has a right to look however she wants to. If she's misrepresented her experience to get her NAACP post or her job as an adjunct professor, that's a problem, and there will be consequences to that, like a resignation from her NAACP post.
Well, but wait a minute. Hold on a sec, Dorian. I want to get right to what you said here, because I think you got to the point here. The first thing you said is about how she looks. I don't think anybody is really questioning how she looks. It doesn't really make much of a difference here. But you made it the secondary issue here. What is the big facet here? She has lied to get to where she is right now. Isn't that something that we need to, as a society, just say, wait a minute, you can't continue to lie. You don't get a pass. You lied, you have to be held accountable. Isn't that the first thing to talk about here?
Well, that should be the focus of the story to me, Ed, but I don't think that's the focus of the story for the media at large. The original BuzzFeed story was basically about her looks. In her interview with Matt Lauer today, he asked her about her hair. He asked her about her complexion. That's stuff that should not be the focus of the story.
But you will say that the focus is she lied and needs to be held responsible for the fact that she lied, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. 2 minutes left here. Let's get into something else. And Christian, I'm going to come to you on this one. First of all, as legalized medical marijuana more widespread in recent years, there's a new poll out that says although more teens did use marijuana in 21 of the states where medical marijuana laws were approved, the rate of use didn't increase after the law was passed. So what does this tell us? Maybe that teens aren't using as much marijuana as we once thought?
Well, I think the data every day is coming out in favor of legalization of marijuana for medicinal purposes, and I think the statistics show that. We live in a society, again, where we try to control people's lives, and I think marijuana has shown tremendous benefits in terms of medicinal use, and I think we're seeing it in Colorado and other states that recreational use really isn't, the evil being that everybody had made it out to be. So I say legalize it.
Are you in favor of recreational use?
I am.
Okay. Dorian, let me come to you then. First of all, I'll just hit you with that. Are you in favor of recreational use?
I am. And this study, Ed, it bears out something that opponents of the drug war have known for a long time, which is that legalizing marijuana for medicinal purposes or as a controlled substance is not going to cause pandemonium. And studies like this, 23 states allow medicinal marijuana right now, and the results of studies like this are going to make it harder for opponents of that issue in other states going forward.
All right, let's go ahead and put this then one to bed because we're all out of time. We have now taken care of weed, we've taken care of the Donald, we've taken care of Rachel Dolezal. I think that, gentlemen, we have solved all of the really important issues in society at this moment as we leave. Gentlemen, thanks so much for your time. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, Ed.
All right.
Thank you, Ed.
Now that we have talked about the Donald who is in, and again, remember, Donald Trump is running for president. He is just as serious a candidate as anybody else at this time. And there's a lot of people who support him. So whom do you support? This is your chance. Donald Trump is in. There's a lot of others, too, who say that he's in it just to go ahead and get himself some more publicity. What does he need publicity for? Maybe Donald is the man. Maybe then we should also take tongue out of cheek. Who are you supporting in the Republican primary? Go to newsmaxpolls.com and tell us exactly who you think should be the person running this country. All right, stay with us, because coming up next, an American missing 5 years in Yemen. The story when we continue.